Alright, this is going to be a history of the AR-15/M16 rifles. The AR-15 is usually a civilian rifle. It's going to be semi-auto. The M16 can be semi-automatic. It can have a 3-round burst, or it can be fully automatic. AR in AR-15 stands for Armalite Rifle, which is the original company that produced the rifle. And AR-15s are also known as modern sporting rifles, and there are about 5 million of them in the US today, out of 300 million total firearms in the US. After World War II, the US military was looking to replace the M1 Garand, M1, M2 carbines, 1918 Bar or Browning automatic rifle, the M3 grease gun, and Thompson submachine gun. They also wanted to increase the power of their current .30 caliber carbine round. Experts recommended a small caliber and high velocity round. This led to the development of the 7.62 by 51 millimeter NATO cartridge, which is still technically a .30 caliber, but with a higher velocity. Due to a desire for logistical simplicity, the US military decided after the Korean War that a common round should be used in the carbine and also in the general purpose machine gun, currently under development at the time. In 1956, the US Army Springfield Armory was testing new rifles, chambered in 7.62, to replace the M1 Garand. This is when Armalite submitted their AR-10 prototype. The AR-10, chiefly designed by Eugene Stoner, was chambered in 7.62 by 51 millimeter. It was made with lightweight polymers and alloys, included a gas operation system, takedown pins for easy chamber maintenance, and most notably a charging handle which was fixed to the bolt and was operated from within the charging handle. The lightweight materials made the weapon about 1 pound lighter than the average infantry rifle, so unloaded it was about 6.5 pounds. The gas system and bolt, which were in line with the bore, reduced the muzzle rise and increased accuracy. The engineers of this weapon were originally aircraft engineers who brought their knowledge of lightweight material to the firearm industry. President of Armalite, George Sullivan, even insisted that the barrels be made out of their own alloy of aluminum. However, for the US Springfield Armory testing, the barrels were made out of standard steel. Eugene Stoner, inventor of many AR models, was a US Marine Aviation Ordnance veteran. He designed other models including the AR-3, the AR-9, 11, 12, but most notably the AR-5 survival rifle. Ultimately, the Springfield Armory decided not upon the AR-10, but upon the T-44, also known as the M14. The first service rifles were delivered to the US Army units in July 1959 and served briefly during Vietnam. While the M14, chambered in 7.62 by 51, had excellent penetration power, its length and weight made it awkward to maneuver through the jungle. Also, the fully automatic function was considered uncontrollable with the 7.62 round, and it was a major waste of ammunition. The M14 was deemed completely inferior to the World War II M1 Garand. The cartridge was too powerful for the submachine gun role and too light to replace the bar. The 7.62 by 51 round was also very heavy to carry and made it difficult to maintain fire superiority over the enemy who used the 7.62 in their AK-47. The request was made by General Willard G. Wyman, who was a U.S. Continental Army commander at the time, to develop a .223 or .556 select fire rifle weighing in at 6 pounds, loaded with 20 rounds. The .556 must penetrate a U.S. helmet at 500 yards, retain an ultrasonic velocity, and match or exceed the wounding capability of the .30 caliber. This led to the creation of the AR-15 or M16, which is just the AR-10 chambered in 223 or 5.56 with a couple modifications. The Army rejected the rifle despite proof that it could provide much more overwhelming fire superiority than the M14. So in 1963, Secretary of Defense Robert McNamara ordered a halt to the M14 production and instituted the AR-15/M16 as the only universal infantry weapon. Changes were made from the AR-10 to create the AR-15/M16, such as a relocation of the charging handle from atop the upper receiver to behind it. The Army requested an addition of a forward assist, while the Air Force, Colt, and Eugene Stoner considered it an unnecessary expense. This split into two variants: the Air Force's M16 without a forward assist, and the Army XM16E1 with a forward assist. The Navy and the Marines also received the forward assist weapon. The weapon still lacked a chrome-plated chamber and did not have proper cleaning kit included. Lubricant supplied by DuPont led to jams. This led to the severe problem of failure to extract. In a direct impingement gas system, carbon buildup can lead to jams due to the increased buildup of carbon in the chamber, and this requires greater maintenance on the individual soldier level. Also, the heat produced by the piston will melt off the lubrication, and this is the most common cause of jams. Here's a quote from a Marine Corps rifleman in Vietnam. "We left with 72 men in our platoon and came back with 19. Believe it or not, you know what killed all of us? Killed most of us? Our own rifle. Practically everyone was dead, found with his M16 torn down right next to him where he had been trying to fix it." In February of 1967, the XM16E1 was improved and renamed the M16A1. It now had a chrome-plated chamber and bore to reduce corrosion and jams. Improved cleaning kits were also issued. Cleaning classes and comic book style manuals were included. This effort greatly reduced the problems with the system and led to widespread acceptance of the M16. The M16 officially replaced the M14 as a standard service rifle. Around 1994, the M4 began increasing utility in the armed forces. It was noted that since the barrel length was 14.5 inches rather than the M16's 20-inch barrel, reliability was reduced. In a 2002 U.S. Marine Corps study, it was found that the M4 malfunctioned 3 times as much as the M16. This is due to the components being closer together, affecting the timing of the gas impingement system and focusing the heat in specific areas of the weapon. The Army found that in 2005 and 6 that the M4 and M16 would fire approximately 5,000 rounds in between stoppages. Common suggested improvements by those who fired either the M4 or M16 in combat were increased bullet lethality, higher quality magazines, decreased weight, and a collapsible stock. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about the difference between the 5.56 and the 223. Most of you probably already know this. The 223 is mostly a civilian, or if not entirely a civilian, cartridge. It's used usually for plinking and for hunting. 5.56 is higher power than the 223. The cartridge is usually 184 grain with a 55 grain bullet, and when fired from a 20-inch barrel at 100 yards, this will fragment into approximately 12 pieces inside the soft tissue of the body, causing what many consider to be an inhumane explosive effect which creates a very large exit wound. As the velocity and grain decreases, so does the fragmentation, leading to decreased lethality at greater than 200 yards and increased importance on shot placement. When fired from a 14.5 M4 barrel, the velocity is greatly reduced as well as the lethality. While the Army emphasizes the importance of shot placement as a remedy to this, the U.S. Marine Corps continues to use the 20-inch barrel. In response to this issue, the Army released an increased performance 5.56 round in June 2010. This round proved an ability to fragment even from the M4 14.5-inch barrel. If you have any comments or things that you feel need to be corrected, please send me a message or leave a comment, and I'll get back to you. Thank you very much.